Hi, welcome back to Everyday Behavior. My name is Mary Ann Shepard, and during this video, we are discussing stimulus classes. So the whole point of this month's series is to discuss how to really assess or work with high intensity, low frequency behaviors. So again, those are behaviors that are very intense, tend to get our attention and, really cause great concern, but maybe low frequency behaviors, so they don't occur very often. So high intensity, low frequency behaviors, like I said, are behaviors that get our attention and cause a lot of concern, but they're really hard to assess because they don't occur very often. And so there's fewer opportunities for a clinician or a school professional or even parents to establish a pattern of behavior and identify the function. So when we're talking about high intensity, low frequency behaviors, typically they occur as part of a larger class of behaviors. So there are two ways that we classify behaviors. We either classify things into a stimulus class or a response class. And so when we're looking at those behaviors, they typically occur as part of a larger subset of behaviors. They typically lead up to them. And so I want to encourage you, if you are assessing a low frequency, high intensity behavior, to consider investigating the stimulus class in which they may occur as part of. So it could be that sometimes, like every 4 months, they occur at school, and every 3 months they occur at home, and maybe it occurs here occasionally or there occasionally, but it's pretty rare. To look and see if there's a class of behaviors that maybe they occur, or a class of stimuli that maybe evoke that behavior. So a stimulus is something in the environment that signals a response. A stimulus class is a group of stimuli that share a common characteristic and signal a similar response. So it could be that maybe the teacher, the principal, and the counselor are all part of a common stimuli. They're all adult authority figures within the school that all signal maybe that you're going to get in trouble or tantrum behavior. Okay, so they all signal that if you engage in the behavior in the presence of this stimulus, your behavior will be reinforced, right? So the teacher can reinforce your behavior, the principal can reinforce your behavior, and the counselor can reinforce your behavior, or can lead up to tantrum behavior. At home, it could be that mom, dad, and the grandparents could all be part of this stimulus class. Those are all people, but I want to encourage you to think more broadly. Could it be water? So is it that a shower triggers it, the pool triggers it, the lake triggers it? They're all things that involve water. Could it be busy environments? So part of a stimulus class could be the state fair, ball games, like going to a high school football game or a college football game, or soccer game or something like that. And maybe, church. Or something like that. They're all busy environments, or going into Walmart. So is there something that all of the behaviors share, some kind of stimulus, a loud, busy environment, maybe something involving water, an authority figure like teacher, principal, counselor, mom, dad, grandparents? Could it be a similar feature within clothing? Maybe a stiffer material, or long sleeves versus short sleeves, or something like that, some kind of clothing feature. When you're looking at food and food refusal, could it be a similar type of texture, maybe a slimier texture, or some kind of feature that all of them can go back or be linked back to a common stimulus, a common variable? So the difference between a stimulus class and a response class is the stimulus is what's eliciting the behavior. It's all of these similar features that cue or signal the behavior. Another way to look at this is maybe through your discriminative stimuli. So if you haven't watched our video on discriminative stimuli, or if it's been a while, I encourage you to go back and watch that video on discriminative stimuli, because there are, again, behaviors that cue or there are stimuli that cue a specific behavior. So what is common to all of the situations that you have had in the past? So it's helpful sometimes to write down, similar to doing an ABC log, go back historically and write down, when have all of these events happened? And maybe you do that for the last 6 months or the last year, and you say, okay, we had a big one on this date, and this is what was happening. And we had a big one on this date, and this was what was happening. And we had a big one on this date, and this was what was happening. And then look to see, is there something common across all of those dates? You can also do that in part of the school. So, was it days that maybe there were class parties or changes in the schedule? So, it happened on a pep assembly day, and it happened on a day that you had a class party, and it happened on a day where we did a tornado drill, something like that. Is there some kind of common feature or stimulus in the environment that signals the behavior? So when you're looking at those high intensity, low frequency behaviors, look to see if they share some sort of common stimulus in the environment.